If you wish to have any sort of success in the new paradigm with a business, friendships, whatever it is, and I'm going to speak specifically to business, this is the secret sauce to it all. Do it in a way that feels Greetings. Oh, we need some help. We need Hannah on here.
Greetings. Terrible.
Greetings.
Wow. Okay. So if you know, you know. If you happen to notice the number of digits, the digits on this episode, you'll notice that it's a big fat whopping 100. We have reached triple digits, baby. This is the 100th official episode of the Out of Our Minds podcast. Cue the fireworks, cue the bam, 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 cue the applause, cue it all. Give me my Oscar already. We did it.
This is
Guys,
a huge accomplishment.
This is huge. This is huge. 100 of anything is amazing.
Yeah.
It's tough to get 100 of many things in life other than the things that you were going to do every week or something, you know, for many years.
Yeah.
So crushed it. Okay. This episode is dedicated to the 100th episode, the 100 episodes that we have recorded for the Out of Our Minds podcast. We are about to drop you in to a very reflective episode, a celebratory episode. We are going to share tales from the road, behind the scenes stories, biggest lessons learned. We're probably going to cry. And we are also going to, at the end, share what our intention is for the next 100 episodes. So thank you so much for being here. This episode is just going to tickle your fancy no matter how long you've been with us. If you're an OG and you know exactly how we started our first episode, which was called The Alignment Effect, and we filmed it in person in Joshua Tree, and we started out by doing our alien sound of saying, greetings, and it was cringe to us at the time, but we freaking did it. Whether you joined us from last week's episode 99, we're so happy you're here. You have stepped into the fantastic world of Out of Our Minds, Planet OOM, and we're so glad you're here. So we have 3 questions that we are going to answer today that we have been reflecting on. Before we get into those questions, Nikki, do you want to share anything about the 100?
I just can't get over like that moment of us in Joshua Tree feels so far, but also like it was yesterday at the same time. And it's such a strange feeling because we have died and have been reborn a million times since that moment. But it also just feels like it was yesterday because of how much fucking fun we've been having and just the unraveling of what's gone down over the past almost 2 years. It's such a weird feeling. I like can't even pinpoint it into words. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, what? I don't understand what time is. Now that we have this like thing that we've been consistent with for almost 2 years, it can really, it's like a mind fuck.
It is. It's strange. I really don't know. I feel like as people get older, they just feel this more and more.
Yeah.
Where life just blurs into more of this blob of memories and events and decisions that you make. And yeah, that's what this feels like for sure. And it's interesting. When I was reflecting and writing down what I wanted to share today, I was kind of viewing the 100 episodes going backwards in time, like a film strip, like a movie going backwards. I was like, wow, the freaking journey that we've been on. Just seeing us also like bop all over from like Puerto Rico to Joshua Tree, LA, Sedona, Texas, freaking all over the place. And the journey that it's been, both internally, externally, and seeing all these lights pop up all over the globe, signifying this community growing. And it's hard to wrap our minds around. I agree with you. It is just hard to fully grapple with the meaning of it. But we're going to try today.
Yeah. A thought I've had recently, and I'm curious if you thought about this too. How cool is it that we're going to get to show our kids a library of podcast episodes one day, and they're going to think we're fucking crazy,
Yeah,
But
100%.
it's just really cool because it's almost like a library of all of the moments of awakening that we've had over the past 2 years. And what's wild is
Yes.
like we've attracted a community that has been on the same wavelength of having the same realizations and downloads and awakenings. And that's why we can talk to so many different people and they're like, holy shit, you always are speaking about exactly what I'm going through. And it's crazy. We have a literal library of 100 podcast episodes that is just a whole vat of memories on like the specific points in our awakening of when we were learning about this and that and the whole realization we had about the chakras when we were in Sedona and the whole like 3 months we spent on learning about like the heart's intelligence and connecting
Yes.
in with higher realms and channeling. And it's just wild. It's wild.
It's wild. It's wild. So today, what we're reflecting on specifically is the lessons learned in the journey of specifically doing 100 podcast episodes. You guys know, if you're listening, you're part of our community, you know that this is really beyond just a podcast. It's an entire brand and community and a culture. It is a whole shebang. But today, what we really want to focus on is the wisdom from the road of doing 100 episodes, sitting down over 100 times realistically to record a podcast every single week, not missing a week, releasing every single freaking week for the last almost 2 years, and what we have picked up from that experience. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Definitely send us a message and celebrate with us. And also, if you are someone who has listened to every freaking episode, you get a special shout out because you have literally been with us for 100 episodes, and that is epic. So you're going to, if you've listened to all 100 episodes, you are in this, you're a part of it, you know it, everyone's a part of it, but you've been on the timeline with us. So, okay, should we answer the first
Yes, let's
question?
get into it.
Okay, so the first prompt that we are reflecting on today is the top 3 to 5 things that we have learned from doing 100 episodes. Nikki, you go first.
Okay. So, the first lesson that I have learned is about consistency and what the F happens in your life when you are consistent with something, like how we have been with recording. And the fact that we have not missed a week of releasing an episode, it's just like a whole new world of consistency that I have walked into where I'm learning so much about the power of consistency. And what I was reflecting on is that there's this beautiful inertia that's built and momentum and this massive like ball of energy that gets built up over time through the action of through doing something consistently, through acting on something consistently. And what I was reflecting on is that those first few reps are always the hardest. But I think what I'm now just with hindsight and being able to look back, it's meant to be hard because you're building your strength. But then once you start going, consistency becomes this natural thing because you have so much momentum behind you. And I share this because if there is someone out there that's like wanting to do something with sharing their gifts or starting a business or maybe even leaning into a hobby in a bigger way or learning something, like learning a new skill or something, know that it gets easier in terms of like having to show up, I've found, because it becomes a way of being and it just becomes who you are. And I'm sure someone who goes to the gym consistently in this manner would say the same thing. It's just like you don't even think about it. And this was such a beautiful lesson to look back on. And I definitely wanted to share this one for anyone who feels like, fuck, it's so tough to stay consistent. It's like meant to, but then it gets so much easier because of the momentum and the energy that gets built.
Yes, for sure. There really is something to be said about reps and getting the reps in and just doing them when you don't want to, when all the resistance is there. Like, it's reps. It's reps. There are certain things in life that I fully believe it's about the reps.
Yeah.
And it's also because of what exactly is taking place in the reps and in the process, right? It's a whole inherently creative process and journey of showing up to something that consistently. So it's both what's happening through just like repetition of doing something over and over, but also the energetics of it, right? And like the momentum that's built behind it.
Right. What would you say is something that, like, do you think people miss out on parts of life because of the inability to stay consistent with certain things?
Yeah, I think yes, for sure. Because
Like what?
I mean, I feel like it's that famous image of someone who's mining in a tunnel and they are like one chisel away from getting to the gold.
Mm,
And if you just take that in the context of continuing to go, and it's more like if that person was going to give up because of a limiting belief, right? We're not talking about pivoting because of alignment or whatever, right? It's a different story. But I think a lot of people mistake the resistance that shows up and the difficulty of building the consistency. And consistency can mean something really different because it doesn't necessarily have to be like every week you're doing one certain thing, but there's something to be said for a commitment that is translated as consistency that I won't say most people, I just think it's just being right where the gold is and giving in because of a literal illusion that when you just take the one more step, you realize the momentum that has built up and you get the gold from either the fact that it's happening in that moment or the fact that you've built up all this momentum. And yeah, a lot of dreams die because we just give into an illusion of a fear that's not even real and something that we actually want to do, we are fully capable of doing, and you just had to keep going and you had to just take one more step.
The word devotion is really coming to mind because this 100th episode really symbolizes to me how we have made this creation a spiritual devotion. And we've met different levels of ourself through the devotion and the consistency of showing up on these microphones. And it has become a spiritual practice through that.
Yes, 100%. Because that's the thing. You can interpret what we're saying as just, purely in the physical world of like, just do it, do it, do it. It's like, no, we're talking about showing up to something with all of your being and bringing all of the shadows and facing all of the demons and facing the resistance and the doubts and everything. That's also why the reps work, is because you're here having this human experience and the spiritual essence comes out in this realm through our reps, our consistency, our devotion, our showing up, and our discipline. I'll use the word devotion more, but in this context of being in a relationship to this thing that you are in your own mind, deep in your being, certain is in alignment for you. And that's where the keeping going really is the key.
Yeah, and you just get above the programs through that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you heal by doing and acting and realizing that the resistance and the whatever is coming up is an illusion that didn't actually have any power over you.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. You go. Whenever we have like lists of things we're sharing, we need to like cut each other off.
We got to rapid fire, else we're going to be here forever. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I wrote is that your raw and unfiltered voice and expression is enough. And this is huge, especially with a medium like this. It's us using our voice, but it's also our expression. It is us making our energy felt and seen through spoken word, through our presence on a screen, through our vibration and what we put out. And a lot of the resistance and the thing that would stop someone, particularly in a medium like podcasting, expression, art, putting something out there, right, is thinking that their raw, unfiltered self voice expression isn't enough to be worth being heard or seen or bought or whatever. And it's not true. Your raw, unfiltered voice and the raw version of you is more than enough. And it's actually what people want. And I know we have 1000% seen the truth of that in this venture, especially because of the moments in episodes or planning episodes out or brainstorming where, you know, voices come up of, I don't know enough yet, or I'm not explaining this right, or did that make any sense at all? Or is just sharing my story on this, you know, interesting enough for a podcast episode? And we've learned that just the being that you are is enough to be expressed and brought out to the world.
This is so good. And I'm just reflecting on those little moments where we had this proven to us. And I kind of want to share a bit more about this because I want to connect to the people who think it's about followers or about views or about how much engagement your post is getting. And I know we're talking about online businesses here because we're talking about our podcast and just our online creation, but this can be applied to anyone that is sharing a raw aspect of themselves where they're thinking the degree to which it is received is measured by how many people receive it. And that is just the biggest lie ever because what you're saying has been proven to us over and over again throughout this journey. And I just want to reflect back how before we started recording this episode, we were talking about how we did a surprise bonus episode when Bella was in Venice visiting me in LA. And we were in my Venice house recording a little bonus episode, and she was bawling her eyes out just because of we were 17 weeks into the podcast and we started our membership and we had like 10 members and it was like the dopest thing ever to like have a community of people that just like see us and we see them and we're vibing out. And we had our live event that weekend with like, I don't know, 15 people on it. And it was just the coolest thing ever. And we celebrated that moment so deeply because we just felt the power of what happens when you put your raw, unfiltered self out and you attract people in that really fucking see you and they hear you and they resonate with you on a soul level. And we saw it time and time again happen where like we would put out a vlog and the vlog would get like 40 views on it. And then we would get a message from a beautiful soul being like, oh my God, I found you guys. You guys are fucking nuts. You're on my vibe. And I want to join your community or your mastermind. And this happened also with our like VIP client, Kirsten, if you're listening, like tapped into one of our unhinged episodes. And I'm over here thinking like, who even listens to these fucking episodes? Literally. She's like, I listened to one of your unhinged episodes and was just like totally bought in. And I also have had this happen to me when I started my YouTube channel. Literally had like less than 100 subs. I think I had like 40 subs and I posted a video about my personal story. And I had someone reach out to me wanting to do one-on-one work from YouTube. And it was just such a testament of like, it doesn't fucking matter the engagement, the views, the amount of people you have in your audience. Your real, raw, authentic self, if it is received by someone, they want to connect with that because they see themselves in you. And this is just inspiration and a beautiful reminder for anyone out there who is wanting to share their real, authentic self that you will connect with people on that level of authenticity and it will feel so special and so divine. And just to see that intimate connection with just one being as like the goal of it. And then it grows and it grows just as a natural byproduct of how much you appreciate and pour into those connections.
Yes. And it's the most sustainable thing to do because you don't have to hold up a facade.
Yeah.
That takes energy. And also in this world, especially that we're talking about with connections and community that you build, people are connecting in with you because of your pure energy versus something that you've made up. And that is incredibly sustainable because people who come into your world because they see your soul are people who are going to stay in your world in some capacity for a long time because they came in off of your real energy and those connections are very strong.
Yeah. Wow. What a powerful point. It connects in, I'll lead us off into my second one. It connects into what I shared for my second lesson. I said, trust in your channel. There's always something flowing through you. Having 1 hour a week has made me face voices of doubt head on. This is like scribble. I'm going to kind of decode this after I read this, but allowing my channel to open, you will live in the illusion that you don't have anything to say until you push past the voice of doubt where all wisdom exists. So
wow.
I think what I was getting at here is that there is this ever-present stream of creativity that exists in all of us. And even when we're like feeling down and feeling like, oh, I have a creative block, it's just us giving in to the illusion of the mind, because creativity doesn't stop flowing through you. And I think us getting to the mic every week has been such a portal of learning about creativity, opening up my channel, being just in flow with sharing whatever the hell is on my mind. And I'm realizing that those moments where I felt like there was a creative block were just moments that I was identifying too much with the mind. And that's why people will say, like, maybe take a break, go outside. And it's not so much so that you can like re-tap into the stream of creativity. Like, it's already there. It's not like you're creating something that's not existing. You're just taking time to detach from the mind. And just back to what we were talking about with like building the muscle, you have been such an important like inspiration for me in the creative process, because you've really taught me so much of like the mechanics of tapping into your creativity and entering into that flow state, and everything that you teach me with human design and just understanding my own blueprint and really getting how it is this energy wants to flow through me has just opened up this whole new world for me, where now I'm like, wow, I am just in constant stream of creativity. And sure, there are moments where I'm like visiting the darkness where I feel like there's no creativity, but actually what I'm realizing in those moments is that there's shame of expressing myself through the darkness. Whereas now I'm like, if I'm in the darkness, like, why not express that into like a piece of art and like let that pour out of me as like an authentic vibration, which I'm still kind of working on. I haven't like fully entered into that realm yet, but it's something that's bubbling inside me. And I'm just having so much awareness around, wow, literally dedicating 1 day a week to getting on these microphones has made me realize how infinite creativity is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that is so powerful, because that's the other thing is I always think about how the whole, just like the way you can apply the observer concept to so many things, and what you observe most is what starts to build your reality. And with creativity, for a lot of us, it's literally just giving ourselves a chance to observe ourselves in creativity, in being in co-creation and having an energy move through you. And it's through retraining ourselves to see that that is always there, that muscle and that skill and that whatever, it's not even a skill. It's just literally our innate capacity is always there of creativity. But this is the power of that masculine structure and that devotion to every week showing up to your metaphorical canvas is going to apply the observer effect to your own creativity, to your genius, to your vision, and the laws of the universe then will make that be more present in you and will wake it up from within you.
Yeah, you expand your awareness on what's there, and then you get to experience more of it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so powerful. Wow, I love that. Okay. We'll move on, yeah, because we want to keep it moving. Okay. So the next thing I wrote this a little bit weird, so I'll explain it. But there is more happening behind the scenes in your favor always, meaning the universe is always moving things for you, whether you realize it or not. And in terms of podcasting and these 100 episodes, every single tiny signal, ping, little penny that you put on the pile is doing something. Even if you don't see the effect of it a week, a month, a year, however long, right? There's always something happening behind the scenes. And that applies in general with life, but especially with something that you are birthing into the world and you are bringing into the physical, where you are showing up every week to that thing, knowing that there is always more happening behind the scenes in your favor. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. Things are moving. Someone is listening from Ireland and is connecting in at 3 a.m. on Saturday. And then in the morning you wake up and you're like, wow, I didn't even think that this is going to reach anyone. And we have seen that in a profound way. And that has also reinforced this universal truth, which is that the universe is always conspiring in our favor. And we have infused that into the way to essentially our codes and our beliefs around what we do with this business and the podcast. And in whatever you're doing in life, just remembering that even if there is not an immediate physical result or an immediate thing that you can grab onto to see like, oh yeah, it worked, or oh, okay, something's happening. There is still something happening, and the universe is consistently working in your favor in the background. It has the order that you placed and it's working on it. And when you trust in that, it then makes more room for you to keep showing up to the thing that you really want to do.
Wow. As you were talking, I was having like a visual experience of seeing just this energetic web that has been building. It has been one of the biggest teachers of surrender too, to trust what you're saying, because there have been moments where we're like launching something or putting something out there and we're like, we just need to trust that when we put out our episodes and our voices, that this will go to the people that are meant to receive it and that are meant to hear it. And it has been so cool to literally see, because we have a podcast, the physical representation of like God's work at play.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can apply that to anything in life though, because you start to realize how it's just synonymous for this universal law. And it's the same applies for when you choose to have an authentic conversation with someone at a random dinner party and you don't think anything is going to come of it, but you are operating from the belief system that when you show up as yourself, when you speak your mind, when you, whatever it is that you feel called to do, that is always working in your favor. It's sending out a signal and the universe is working on it. And the universe and God also brings us miracles and opportunities and things in abundance through people around us, through so many different avenues. And that's where then you start to fully believe in the power of literally just being your authentic self at a dinner party. And that is like putting a vote on the pile of your vision coming into fruition. And it's just a very powerful belief to be living in. And podcasting for sure has taught that because of the nature of this medium. But we realize that this is how life works in and of itself.
Yeah. And that authentic energy is so potent. So potent. Mm-hmm. And it's those little micro moments of putting out just who you truly are. And I can even think back to moments in my life, even recently, where I was like, oh, I was like holding back myself or restraining my authentic energy. And it just sent out like a weird vibration that like brought in something weird and was like, ooh, this like works the other way too. And we're just such powerful beings that like let that energy just be enough to like build the world that you wish to live in. And the authenticity is the secret sauce to building the connections in the world that come back and feel good to your soul. They like resonate with you because you have been casting the net of energy that is who you truly are.
Yes.
I'm also just having something come through. I didn't write this down for my third one, but I'm going to like literally look into the camera when I say this. If you wish to have any sort of success in the new paradigm with a business, friendships, whatever it is, and I'm going to speak specifically to business, do it in a way that feels good to you. This is the secret sauce to it all. Because what happens when you're doing something that feels good to you is you stop thinking about the end result because you are having so much freaking fun with the way that you are doing something that you exude an energy of just authenticity and magnetism where you effortlessly attract in everything that you do desire as an end result, but you're not even thinking about that because you're so in the flow of how you're doing it because you're doing it the way that you want to do it. And I need to say that because that was coming to mind as you were talking.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's a big fat fucking permission slip for everyone that's building something in this new paradigm. Don't feel like you need to listen to strategy of people. I mean, strategy is important. I'm not here to shame strategy. We use strategy. We have a strategy with how we run our business. It's through intuition. That is our strategy. But what I invite you guys to do is just to question and kind of push back on any voices in your head that tell you you need to do something a certain way because someone else is doing something a certain way. Even the way we do something may not actually be in alignment with how you do something. And it's about finding the flow with what feels good to you, because that is what puts you in that state of presence where you can have 3 podcast listeners and be having the best freaking time doing it because you are so connected to your creative flow and the way that you're in action with that thing. You're not even focused on like some sort of end result.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's powerful. It's a very...
Like it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense type of thing.
No, I was going to say that it's there's a term for when something acts as like a course correction, but there's a better word for it. It's a self-correcting mechanism for this. Yeah. It escaped me and I lost the train of thought. So
wait, but can you explain like what you mean by that?
What was the last thing that you just said? Because it sparked something in my mind and then I lost it.
I was saying that even the way we do something may not actually be the way that it works for you, and to really trust how you wish to flow. Oh, I was saying that if you have 3 podcast listeners and you're just having the best time.
Yes. What was coming to me was just the strategy of doing things in a way that is authentic and feels good to you is the best. I don't know what the term is that I was trying to come up with, but my point is that is a self-sustaining, self-correcting, self-healing. It just works. It is a strategy that will correct whatever is wonky in your life because you're doing it by your inner compass.
Right.
Therefore, it's the best possible, most successful strategy that you could use.
Right. Yep. And strategies sometimes work. Like when you have kind of...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not sometimes. They do work. If you are giving your belief to something, it will always work. But it's just about finding strategies that do work for you and that feel good to you. Like you can find someone's blueprint and be like, this is incredible, it matches my soul blueprint, and like that could work for you.
Yes, 100%. It's like what I've been sharing with you of how now a lot of Jamie C's like sales strategy are really resonating with me now, because I actually purposefully was not listening to strategy because I just had a wonky energy, like sales strategy information, because I just had a wonky energy around it from within me. But now I'm more open to it and it feels very authentic. And it's like, absolutely, that strategy is going to work and it is effective. It's just all about how it lands in your sphere of consciousness and your energetics.
Right. And she also teaches based off of energetics and spirit. So that would make sense how it feels good to you.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. But
okay. You shared.
Yes. This one's quick. I didn't share a third. That was just like a side note. Let some of your creations be shitty.
Yes.
This is what I wrote down for the third. Letting go of caring about what is created has allowed me to sink into surrender and trust. And I was thinking about how when we used to edit our own episodes, which we'll do still here and there if we want to have a fast turnaround of an episode, but we have passed over the editing to Shivam. Thank you, Shivam. But when we were editing the episodes, I remember I would sit at my computer and like delete clips from the podcast episodes. Yeah. And I remember you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, this can't be in there. I said this one thing and I regret it. And now I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I literally like just don't care. And sometimes I don't even, we just don't listen to the episodes before they're released. So like there's really just full trust, full surrender. And I've just kind of built this muscle of being like, okay, if I said something that I regret and someone hears it, I'm still going to be alive. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. All is going to be good. And if there's an episode that I'm like, that was probably shitty, who cares? Because we release them every single week and there's always next week.
Yes. Yes. And this is where it all feeds together, because it's like, this is why there's something really powerful to be said about reps, consistency, like almost numbers game of just doing more of the thing, because you're going to have less pressure on the one thing to be freaking perfect.
Yes.
And there's the nuanced time of when it's about, just the one creation itself. But when you are operating this way, like you're saying, it lets you, it's literally the let them theory, but for the yourself, which is to say, let me. And you're like, let me fuck it up. Let me make something shitty. Let me not be perfect. And you're like, oh, thank God. And then you actually will create fantastic things from there. But absolutely letting things just be shitty and not overthinking them and not having a good strategy and doing it quote unquote wrong, that is the initiation to end up getting into a flow where, like we are now, 100 episodes deep, like we have this shit down pretty much. And yeah, we have moments where we're like, oh, was that good? Was that whatever? Just because we're very thoughtful and we care about how things, land. But it's not because we're afraid that someone's going to misinterpret. We are doing it from an energy of refinement and mastering our craft, which is very different from being afraid that it's not good enough and someone's going to hate it. And therefore
that's what I used to
feel.
You. That's what it was for me. Like, I'm going to be honest. Right. That's exactly what it was for me for like a few months there. But now I'm realizing as you're talking, like the reason why letting it be shitty is so important is because sometimes it's more about the momentum you're building than the actual thing that you're building. And it's more about who you are becoming in the process that allows you to then create things that are even better and bigger and bolder. But you had to like get through the shitty ones to even become the being that can create things that maybe don't feel as shitty for you. And also what may be perceived as shitty to you may be perceived as like incredible to another person. And that was proven with Kirsten's comment of like the unhinged episode. I'm like, really? That was the one that brought you in?
That's the thing. We cannot really trust that inner voice that is saying something is shitty. I've been sharing this with you a lot lately because I've been doing this challenge of creating and posting every day. And my inner critic voice is unhinged right now. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, I can't, it's like, you just have to keep going. That's how you end up either healing that voice by just realizing that it is lying to you and it's just like confused and it's forgetting, but it's so real. And that's why you just got to put it out, because if it's likely that your ego or whatever is just trying to protect you and thinks it's shitty, but it's not. It's actually incredible.
Yeah, not likely. 100% of the time the ego is trying to protect you and keep you.
Yes,
That's like
exactly.
When you texted me about posting, like continuing your challenge, I'm like, just fucking post it.
I know. I was like, dude, I can't tell anymore. Am I like, is this literally any good? And you're like, dude, post it. I'm like, okay,
fucking
yes. I'm taking my own medicine.
All right. So
yeah, that's a really powerful one.
Yeah. Now your last third one, right?
Yes. I actually had two more written, but
okay, send it.
Okay. They're kind of quick. So the next thing I wrote was, people don't want perfect. They want real and they want you. We've been talking about this, the authenticity with your raw, unfiltered voice. And I mentioned this earlier of just also how it really is the best strategy, because building a brand, a relationship, a friendship, all of it off of your true, unfiltered, real, raw self, that is actually going to yield you the result that you want. And that's actually even more so specifically, if we're even talking about like the economics of it today, that's what people want. They want real stuff because there's enough fake, confusing, inauthentic, AI generated, you name it, stuff out there that people want real. And that is what's going to stick.
Yeah, truly. We talked about that in episode 90, the one where we were talking about the change that's coming.
Yes.
Yeah, real authenticity, human connection is going to be the thing that people are seeking even more as we enter into just more amounts of AI generated content.
Yes, exactly.
And what was your other one?
Oh, okay. So this is perfect because it ties it up from how we started, but I just had this sentence come through that I thought was interesting, which is that consistency outweighs the power of doubt every single time. And I had this visual of scales where the doubt, the resistance, the fears, all of these illusions on a scale, it would feel like they are outweighing, the thing you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's why the consistency evens out those scales and will be the solvent for these things and is the self-healing mechanism. So knowing that whenever doubt is present, whenever resistance is present, trust that showing up is the answer. quote unquote pushing through is the answer. Trusting yourself and your original vision is the answer. You are the answer. And that is what will be the correcting mechanism for what you actually want to feel through these things that you are creating.
So cool with the scale visual. I was imagining like the side that is the doubt as it evens out. It just dissolves because you realize it's not even real. And then all of a sudden the scale's just like,
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how all of our points like really connected and were a cohesive lesson.
Classic.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Okay, so the next prompt, I'll ask it to you first, is something that you would like to thank your past self or our past selves for, specifically circa 2023 when we started this whole thing.
Okay, so I went a little specific with this. I could have done like a vague like thanks for leaping into the unknown. But I really want to thank myself for knowing when it was time to step away from the things that were just distractions. And I've been having this realization a lot because I just went back to LA and I was kind of feeling this weird sensation of not remembering my time there. And it was like really weird and strange. And I was definitely going through a dark night while visiting my old stomping grounds. And I was having these moments of just being like so fucking grateful that I took myself out of an environment that I am not here to blame the environment. It was who I was while being in that environment that made me, I was not as mentally strong at that point, and I was giving in to all of these distractions because my ego was trying to protect me from going out there and doing the damn thing. And I resisted the commitment aspect to like really going in on my mission and saying a full body yes to it. And what manifested in my life was just me saying yes to things that I probably should have said no to, me going out there and like spending my time doing things that aren't actually of the highest value to me. I have so many beautiful memories from living in LA and I had the best time and I loved living there. Like I don't want to sit here and like shame myself for living in a city because I had such an incredible time. But I am just so grateful that I knew when it was time to walk away from something that was just starting to not serve me. And I was so incredibly distracted as a result of not having like that strong of a connection to my soul yet. And I just thank the heavens. Like I literally thank the heavens for being able to say, you know what, I think it's time to like take a break to go live in this area of the country where there's very little distractions around me, where all I can sense is myself and have this extreme sense of clarity. And I knew it was a temporary move, us moving to Arizona, but I knew it was important. And I knew that I would have this rebalancing of what it was I truly freaking value in life. Because when you start to put time and those reps and that consistency and that devotion to the things that you actually would sit down and write on a list of like what actually fucking matters to you, you start living in a world where those things are expanded and you wake up one morning and you're like, holy fuck, I'm literally living in this reality where I have expanded and have grown the things that I truly freaking value. Do I value going out and dancing at DJ sets? Of course, I'm literally going to do it tonight, but I haven't done it in like fucking months. I used to do that like every other weekend in LA. And do I value it? Sure, it's fun, but is it like on my list of like top things that I just want to like pour my soul into? Probably not. And I had to be really honest with myself about that. And once I was honest with myself about that, I just started to live in a world where I was waking up each day being surrounded by the things that I like truly freaking value. And that is what I would say thank you to my younger 2023 self.
Wow. I love that. I also really love how like specific you went into like a very important shift and choice in your habits and lifestyle and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just fresh on my mind too because I was just in LA, so I just had a lot of moments.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even think I told you this, but I was like doing my normal morning walk every day when I was in LA, like my classic beach walk that I would do. Go to my regular coffee shop, get my matcha, go on my walk. And I was having these weird moments. I was even saying this to friends. I couldn't remember. Like I couldn't remember what it was like living in LA. I couldn't remember my like classic morning routine, I went to Victoria's for dinner and I was talking to her. I'm like, what did I like do in the mornings? And she was like, you would wake up, do Pilates in the courtyard, and like you would meditate, we'd go on our walk. And I'm like, I don't remember. Like, was that
Whoa.
the same person? Like, I don't even, it was really freaky. Like, it was kind of freaky.
Because you think you don't remember it because of like a lack of presence or something else? Like it's just a different, like it feels like it was such a different time and headspace and consciousness for you that it feels so foreign?
I think when you are living in a reality that it feels so automated, that's not actually you. Yes, I was connected to
Right.
my soul. Yes, I was making moves through intuition. I had started my business, but I was still like,
Yeah.
it was still more like, how do I even describe that? It's very hard to describe. It's like now when I reflect back on moments of like living in Sedona, I have these like pivotal moments in my memory of like, wow, like that moment, or like the
Mm.
moment we said like, fuck yes, we're going all in on OOM, when we were like swimming in your pool, and like moments of like being in my office where I was like going, fuck yes, going all in on this, like going on this
Right.
call. It's like the presence of my soul was there, and it's like a
Yeah.
timestamp. And when I think back to like younger years of my life, and I was present in LA, I don't know how to describe this, but there are just moments that I felt like I was just going through the motions, like not really like there, you know?
Yeah, yeah, sure. No, I totally get it. Because then there's a difference between then the vivid memories where you can almost recount what it smelled like, tasted like, all of that.
Yeah, which I do have a lot of memories in LA that were like awakening moments where I'm like, holy fuck, like I was tapped into my soul there. But the regular like day to day, I don't remember like waking up in my house and like, where would I go? Would I go to the bathroom? Would I go to the kitchen? Did I drink water? Like, I just don't know that part.
I got you. I get it.
It sounds silly,
So
but it was
thank
definitely
you to Nikki for getting the fuck out of there.
No, but I don't want to hate on LA. I love LA, and I had
No, I
such
know,
an incredible
but
time. But
yeah, of course. I love that. Okay. I have two thank yous. I'm up on my Oscar stage. I have two thank yous to make.
let's hear it.
Okay. So the first one is to myself. And I wrote,
Wait, I thought they were
Thank
both.
you.
I thought this was all supposed to be to ourselves.
it's whatever you want. I just happen to I have one for me and I have one for you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's fine. There was no specificity. It's supposed to be whatever you want. Okay. I'm thanking myself for being such a hard worker and not letting anything get in the way of our vision. And I'm thanking this specifically because I've really evolved so much and I've actually parted ways in some aspects with the whole identity of the hard worker mentality, at least how it used to play out. But I'm really fucking grateful for the Bella in 2023 who was a hardcore hustler and was like blood, sweat, and tears-ing her way through things. And I am so grateful to that version of me. And I'm so thankful for her audacity and her big visioning and for making crazy decisions when things were just like wonky in life and people were like, what's your plan? What's going on? How are you going to make money? And I was just like, fuck it. We ball. I'm going to figure this out. And I am so grateful that I had that. And yeah, I just really like thank myself for even being in the shadow expression of it because it created the raw, circumstances for who I am today, what the podcast is. And I love that. I love her. And I'm so, so grateful for that era that she was in and what it did for me and for us and all of this. Yeah.
You do realize you were like the full-on engine propeller that like got us both going.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
when I reflect back to the Bella that I met, this exactly what you're talking about right now is the exact energy that changed my entire fucking life. So I'm grateful too that you were in that shadow expression of hustle and grind. And it was something that I saw in you where I was like, holy fuck. This is a potent energy that literally moves mountains, and meeting you has changed the entire trajectory of my life. But it's because of what you're talking about now. It's because you were embodying this determination and this drive and this like fucking nitty gritty devotion to your vision. When you would have an idea come to you, I would like be like, oh my God, this girl's fucking crazy. She wants to do this and this and this. And I'm like, holy crap, like she's gonna take me on a fucking ride this one. But you didn't give you did not give a flying fuck what anyone thought. You didn't care if it was unrealistic. You didn't care if it wasn't like logical or didn't make sense. When you had an idea, and this is still something that you have, when you have an idea, you just go full send. You just go full fucking send. And it is such a potent gift. And I think your gift of ascension just has really crafted this beautiful, dynamic human that understands like what it truly means to go all in on something and to have it expand and grow and to go through the death and the rebirth process within that process and to like come out a fucking phoenix rising with the product and with the creation. And it's like this whole process that you have literally shifted from shadow to light with. And I've watched it, like I've witnessed it. But I'm also thanking that version of you because holy fuck. I just have a vivid memory of us having a Zoom call and I'm sitting at my table in LA and you are like, we had our first coffee meet. Like I just met this bitch. We get on a Zoom call. She's like, let's get on a Zoom call. I'm like, bitch, I got client calls. I gotta go.
Like, I don't know you.
We get on this Zoom call and she's like, we are going to have a live event. I have all of these people that I know. They're going to be hosting workshops. We're going to have them sell tickets. We're going to do an affiliate program. And I'm like, oh my God, my nervous system was like, what the fuck is going on?
No, it's so wild. I came in as like the 1-4 too, because I had the fucking network. I was like, I know these people. The bada bing, bada boom. The Capricorn was going off. I was like, fuck it, let's go full send. It's just had no right, like just fucking swooped in there. Yeah, so beautiful. Wow. So thank you for thanking me back. I received that fully. And now I want to share what I want to thank you for. And what I wrote is, thank you for showing my soul that she doesn't have to do it alone and that we always will go further together.
Every time you say that.
No, seriously, because anybody wondering why this makes me so emotional? My North Node is in Libra. Okay. And I'm here to learn partnership. I'm here to learn that I don't have to do it alone. This is also tied to my human design, my human design and Gene Keys gifts. There are people in my life who I have been fated to that I literally like, our souls made a contract. And so when our human selves met, I can't thank you enough. And because that also, it goes so deep, right? It goes deeper than just doing something together. It's the softening that a human being inevitably goes through when they open themselves up to another human, to the mirror that they're going to be for them, to everything that you have brought to this dynamic fucking duo that we are. And you literally have like burned karma for me and have shown my soul that we don't have to do it alone. And that ran deep for me. For years, I felt so frustrated and like my dreams were slipping from my hands because I was like doing it alone. And when I met you, it changed everything.
We are too much.
I'm not okay. Anyway.
I'm not either. Fuck.
So I'm going to keep it going, okay? Because I originally had this vision. People don't know, I had my own podcast that I started in 2021. And my vision at the time was I was going to be the next Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan's like a solo roller guy, right? It's really just, he's the face of it. And so it was a huge like ego death for me to then feel into the vision of doing a podcast with someone and having someone to talk to. And the fact that I wasn't just going to do this by myself. And it was a big deal for me to close down my solo podcast and my solo ventures and to feel the liberation that came from doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm truly so fucking grateful. And it just goes really deep. Like my 4-line, like the people in my life, you know this, it's not just anybody that makes it into my tight-knit circle. It is reserved for the soul people that are here to help me fulfill my own personal soul's purpose. So thank you so much. Shout out to whoever arranged the soul contract because it's lit.
Yeah. Dude, I just have like a few things that I want to say. And first of all, there was a moment, an intuitive moment that I had, and I've talked about this before, but right before that Zoom call where we were about to plan our first collaboration, there was like a literal voice that came through where I was like, this is about to be the start of something that you can't see right now, but I just need you to trust. And I was like so fucking scared because I just knew that you were about to like push me into the unknown and to like the places that I know I was meant to be, like the power, the strength that I hold. And we got on that call and I just understood intuitively the assignment of like what was just about to happen. And there are no ways, there's no way that I could have ever imagined the unraveling of this. Like I just couldn't have. And that just goes to show, like when you get an intuitive hit around something, you need to trust because you can't just like sit there and try to visualize the way it's going to go down. You can use visualization obviously as a fucking modality to tap into the energy, but I just had no way of seeing that. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to fucking blow my eyes out because I really mean this with my whole heart. I have like met very few people in my life that know how to love like unconditionally. And like you and Peter in my life are these like just vats of love that have changed me on a soul level. And I have never in my life felt so just welcome to be like all of who I am. And you have really taught me like what it means to see someone's shadows and to be able to like hold them without even needing to change them. And when I think about like this whole journey that I've been on of just opening up my heart and allowing myself to be seen, you have been such an important role in that. Like I would not be the person that I am now without this friendship and without this entire creation of OOM. And I just want to say thank you so much for letting me be me and for being the fucking light that you are and just for allowing all iterations of me to be expressed. And you are one of the purest, most loving people on this entire fucking planet. And truly anyone that comes in contact with you and that gets to like enter into that world that you hold that's very sacred, which I get why you keep it so sacred, because the love that you give to your people is something that is people could only like dream of experiencing. And I could probably go down the list of all the people that are in that circle for you and fit them on one hand. And then of course there's like the community that gets to experience it too. But that is your gift to this world, and it goes beyond what you do in your career. It is just who you are as a being that changes people on like a frequential level, and it reminds them of like who they truly are. And that shit is potent.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. I feel like we're getting married right now.
We have gotten married in the fucking cosmos. Are you kidding?
That was truly one of the kindest things someone has ever said to me. And all I have to say is just, I love you so much. I see you fully. And I'm eternally, literally eternally grateful. And the energy of this soul bond we have literally echoes into eternity because of how much love there is wound up between the two of us and between everything we do.
Literally. And everything we fucking touch, we're like, you get love. You get love.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. We need to move on before we just like lose the ability to speak.
Okay, our vows are done. So now let's, I think we do this in the 1 year episode too. Okay, I'll kick us off. Intention for the next 100 episodes. Mine is to allow even more parts of myself to be seen and to trust that my people will stay, to get even more unapologetic with my expression, to let all parts of my soul out and know that all of me deserves love, the power, the fire, the fierceness, also the silliness, being okay with not agreeing, being okay with people not agreeing with who I am and not resonating with my soul frequency, expand even more. I kept writing this, like expand even more into just like unapologetic creativity, allowing myself to be fully seen to like a higher level, get even more out of the comfort bubble, just be even more you. And then I had be even more devoted to the mission, the awakening, to stand as the walking embodiment of what happens when you say yes to your fucking soul is what I wrote as we were listening to that like intense song as we were doing this. And then I just had a more like OOM business related one, which is more in-person community events, but community on another level, taking the OOMies offline and making a worldwide network of awakened souls, a family, and allowing people to connect into that network in their own way. And I had a full-blown vision come through of us creating these like hubs around the world where people can go and connect with like-minded individuals because they have connected with us on a specific frequency. So they can enter into the space knowing that there is soul family there. And maybe this starts out as more of like a network that we put on the Oasis, where we have like a bulletin of people where they're traveling, when they're traveling, maybe people posting about like trips they're going on so that they can connect with other people that like want to go on like a solo/group trip. And I just had this beautiful kind of image come through of OOM, but offline. Like the online portion of this is just to facilitate the connection, but then the connections are taken offline into very intimate real life experiences where there's a literal OOM network. Like it's the OOM network where people are just like in the world and reality field of other beings living in this reality.
Wow.
So we'll need to talk about that.
So we got a lot of work to do. 100 more episodes is about 100 more weeks. So we got 2 years. We got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I see that vision. I feel that. That is powerful.
Like imagine we had like OOM hostels where like we would set up these like little hubs of real estate where people can like go and
like centers and
yes. And that has always been a vision of mine, like creating centers.
Yes, I love that. Me too. I always have felt like making it totally physical, like a literal place on earth you can go in cities, and they're run by OOMies. It's literally all the OOMi network, and it's like
OOM world.
Yes. OOM world. Wow. The seed has been planted.
Yep, it's done. Everyone else, your energy is also behind this. If you love that idea, let us know.
Yeah. Let us know We'll put you on the short list to be a part of this.
Yeah. If you want to help us.
We're gonna need some help.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
You share.
Okay. So I'm just gonna mostly like read what I had come through. So your intention for the next 100 episodes. We have arrived. We have everything we need. So from here on out, we commit to honoring our soul's mission through leadership, service, and fun. The next 100 is where we change the world, where we hit 1 million, not because the number matters, but because we and the world are ready for this. We are ready to raise the damn vibration and leave a substantial mark on this realm. We will continue to serve you. We will continue to be heart-centered beings, and we will continue to rise and be a space for you to remember who you really are. When I say you, I'm talking to you, our listener, Omi. These next 100 episodes are coming off of a foundation of the first 100, which we just reflected on. And this is our freaking life mission and our path. And we are fully dedicated to this work. And it will likely shapeshift. It will change. There will be ideas and things that come through that we don't even know right now. Nikki just spoke to a beautiful vision and version of it. And the next 100 is where things really start to take off. And I want you to know, if you're listening to this, especially if you're listening to this in real time as it comes out in May of 2025, you are a part of this foundation. You are a part of this new paradigm, this new earth, this whatever you want to call it, this era of humanity coming back to its core essence of love. And none of this would be possible without you. It would be different if you were not here. And the next 100 are when OOM truly goes beyond the moon.
Wow. Wow. We got to get that as a subliminal.
Yeah. Literally.
Holy shit. Oh. We just did some magic there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that. That is potent.
So, guys, you listening, I hope you feel how much we love you, how much we see you, and how grateful we are for each and every one of you. It is no small thing. It does not go unnoticed. The incredible power, the dedication, what an honor it is that so many of you all across the world spend time with us every single week. You're all such special, conscious, beautiful beings, and the fact that you choose us to be a part of your world, whether that's just through listening on your commute, or you're in the Oasis, or you're in our portal program, or you work with us one-on-one, or wherever you find yourself connecting with us, you are literally the reason that we do this. And I hope that as you listen and continue to listen, that you internalize all that Nikki and I represent as just further proof that you can do anything that you want, that you are the divine walking in human form, and you came here to do something very special and very unique to you. And every single episode is a reminder of that. And so I'm also eternally grateful for this community and for this thing that we get to do, because it's really special and it's a really awesome life, and you guys make it all possible for us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and cheers to the first 100. Yeah. Cheers to the next, and to many more.
Ooh, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I echo everything that Bella just shared. And we will see you next week. We love you guys so much. Happy 100. Bye.
Bye.